recently teamed up with Tomfoolery Wines for a collaboration to produce the Cerveza Negra. Can you give us a bit of a rundown on the process of collaborating with a major Australian winemaker, and certainly producing a beer in a pretty different method than what you might be used to?
Yeah, well, I think, not strangely enough, but Ben Chipman, who's the winemaker at Tomfoolery, is actually my stepbrother. And we hadn't caught up for many, many years. And when we moved to Barossa, we hooked up again, became mates, and he became a good friend with Jack and Red. And we were just having a beer one day talking about what he does with his old barrels. And he said, I'd love to do something with you guys. So it was a pretty casual. That's a great casual relationship. We've done that beer. We've got a Saison currently resting in Grenache barrels. We've got a Shiraz, a stout resting in Shiraz barrels. So over the next 12 months or so, we'll have another couple of his beers coming out, and we plan to have at least one or two of those each year, just as a little project. And I think for people who had a chance to drink the Tomfoolery, it was I describe it as a fairly divisive beer. Some people absolutely loved it, some people didn't, but that's what happens when you put beer in barrels. You can let the barrels do the work and see what happens.
The good thing about doing it with Chippy as well, he's got an incredible palate, and he's really passionate. So all the way through tasting, every other month, trying to figure out when we need to pull it out of the barrel and get it moving. Having him come down and run his palate across the beer was interesting and encouraging. That's good.
It's just a beer that's interesting. It's just got so many flavours going on, and it's one of those beers that changes in itself. And Red will talk more about it in a minute, but it changes in itself as the temperature of the beer increases. So you might have a drink at, say, what we're drinking now, 4 degrees, and by the time you get at 9 degrees, it's a different beer again, and by the time you get at 12 degrees, it's a different beer again. So it's a really interesting product. But Red, tell us about what you got out of the process and how it all started.
It's pretty exciting to get the call from Chippy and say that I wanted to do a beer with you guys. He had these Tempranillo barrels from his Pirate Negra coming up for grabs, and Pirate Negra, named after a Spanish war galleon, back in the day, and he's already got that name for a big pirate ship, Spanish war galleon, and we kind of ran with that, so we went for the Cerveza Negra time with that. Being Spanish style and Spanish warship, we thought we'd go with a dark lager, Spanish style lager, or ale it ended up being, but to go in there, nice roasty characters to try and meld well with what we're going to be getting out of the barrel. Big plummy characters, juicy fruit.
You can definitely taste that Tempranillo in there as well.
Yeah, it took the wine on quite a lot, and potentially it had some Brett character from the barrel, which most winemakers hate, but brewers tend to get around a fair bit nowadays.
Yeah, sure.
I've not had this beer in a good few months now, so it should be interesting to see
it's just got that little bit of sourness to it. It's where the Brett comes from, or it creates, and that's why there's so many interesting things going on in the palate. That's what I get excited about.
Should be sit down and smell it and taste it and come back to it.
It's a really versatile beer. I mean, this is something you would match with a meal.
Big old plate of paella or something like that.
Big seafood.
Big seafood.
I think big seafood meal, this would be absolutely perfect.
Big seafood pasta with a little bit of chilli, and it worked pretty well. So
this, when it went into barrel, was out of balance towards the roast character, and the barrel just sucked it right up, and replaced it with all that fruit character. And then I'm actually starting to get a little bit more roast character come through now that maybe the fruit character's dissipating a bit. So this has been in bottle for 4
months, I reckon,
So this one, is it a limited release?
One time only.
Right. And where can we find it?
Probably because it's been released out in the market about 8 weeks ago. I'd suggest there's not many on any shelves anywhere. So you might be lucky if you hunt around a couple of the key bottle shops, but it tended to. There wasn't a lot of it. To give you a bit of a feel, probably there was only we only put them in cartons of 6. There wouldn't have been 30 cartons come to Sydney, so
Right, okay.
it wasn't. It was a mass production sort of thing. But mate, we're lucky to have it here, and hopefully we can share it with a few of your mates while we're eating
definitely.
that crab tonight, and see how they see what they think of it.